Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're digging into a YouTube podcast script called War Precautions, How to Stay Safe in Uncertain Times.
Right.
Now, obviously, war precautions, it's a heavy topic. But our goal here isn't fear-mongering. It's more about, informed preparedness.
Exactly. Getting the practical knowledge out there.
We want to break down what the script suggests for protecting yourself, your family, especially with global tensions feeling, well, high.
And the script does offer some useful starting points, I think. It focuses on actionable things you can actually do, which helps combat that feeling of being overwhelmed.
Okay, so let's jump in. First up, staying informed. The script immediately flags this as step one.
Yeah, absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
You need reliable information, especially during conflict.
It points specifically to places like the BBC, Reuters, Al Jazeera, also official government alerts.
And it's interesting why those sources, right? BBC gives you that broad international view. Reuters is very fact-focused. Al Jazeera offers, maybe a different regional perspective. Getting multiple angles helps build a clearer picture.
That makes sense. Get different views. It also warns quite strongly, actually, against rumors and misinformation.
Oh, definitely. Panic spreads so fast, especially on social media, things get twisted.
Right. And in a crisis, emotions are high. You're maybe more likely to believe something unverified.
Precisely. Which can lead to anxiety, bad decisions. It's about being critical of what you see and hear.
And here's a really practical tip they give. Have a radio. Battery-powered or even hand crank.
Yes. That feels a bit old school, maybe.
Yeah.
But think about it. If the internet's down, power's out.
That could be your only link to official news.
Exactly. The hand crank part is key, too. Total independence from the grid or batteries running out.
Yeah.
It's about redundancy, having backups for your information sources.
Okay, let's shift gears to securing your home. The script talks about your home as a potential safe haven.
Right, if things escalate.
And it gives concrete steps like reinforcing doors, windows, maybe heavier locks, barricades, if it really comes to that.
Yeah, and the level you go to obviously depends on your situation, the perceived risk.
Sure.
But the basic idea holds up. Making your home physically safer,
Yeah.
even just checking your existing locks are working properly, that's a start.
It also brings up creating a safe room, like a basement or an inside room with no windows.
A designated spot offers more protection from, debris, shattered glass, things like that.
And they mentioned stocking it with essentials. We'll get into that supply list in a moment.
Yeah, having that space prepped can also just provide some peace of mind in a really stressful situation, knowing where you'd go within your own home.
Another tip, simpler maybe, but interesting, blackout curtains.
Right, to stop light showing outside at night.
Yeah, preventing unwanted attention. Seems like a small thing, but could enhance security.
It's smart. In unstable times, keeping a low profile can be a good strategy. Blackout curtains help with that. Makes it harder for anyone outside to see activity inside.
And importantly, the script doesn't just assume you'll stay home. It stresses having an evacuation plan, too.
Yes, that's crucial. Staying put isn't always the safest bet.
So thinking through different scenarios.
Exactly. Preparedness means having options. An evacuation plan recognizes things can change fast. You might have to leave. So, where would you go? How would you get there?
Which leads us nicely into the next big topic, essential supplies.
Ah, yes, the practical stuff.
The script points out quite rightly that conflict can totally mess up supply chains. Access to basics might become difficult.
So stocking up is key. And they get specific, which is helpful.
First thing, water. 1 gallon per person per day. That's fundamental.
Absolutely non-negotiable. Then non-perishable food, things like canned goods, rice, pasta, stuff with a long shelf life that gives you energy.
Makes sense. Then a first aid kit, obviously, and any personal medications you need.
Super important. Dealing with injuries or managing existing conditions when help might be unavailable.
Flashlights, batteries, power banks. For light and communication if the power's out.
And cash, that's a big one.
Right, because ATMs, card readers, they might not work. Physical money could be essential.
Definitely. For buying things if stores are even open or, other needs.
And important documents, passports, IDs, property deeds, insurance papers.
Yeah, keep those together. The script suggests a waterproof bag.
Good tip. Protects them from damage, especially if you need to leave quickly. Those things are hard to replace.
It shows they're thinking about the real practical challenges.
And one more thing on supplies, a pro tip they included. Rotate your stock.
Yes. Don't just buy it and forget it.
Keep things fresh. Check expiration dates.
Exactly. It makes preparedness an ongoing habit, not a one-off task.
Mm.
Ensures your supplies are actually usable when you need them.
Okay, so building on the evacuation idea, the script dives deeper into communication and planning if you have to leave.
Right, that worst case scenario. Or maybe just different case scenario.
A key point is setting up meeting points for your family in case you get separated in the chaos.
Oh, that's critical. Imagine the panic if you can't find your loved ones.
Yeah.
Having pre-agreed spots, maybe one close by, one further out, is vital.
It also says you need to know multiple escape routes out of your area.
Yeah, don't just rely on the main highway.
What if it's blocked or unsafe?
Exactly. You need options.
Yeah.
Backup routes. Requires a bit of homework, looking at maps, think about local roads.
Yeah.
Gives you flexibility.
And related to that, keep your car fueled up
Hmm.
or have backup transport.
Like a bicycle.
Uh-huh.
Or just knowing good walking paths.
Yeah, addresses fuel shortages or situations where maybe roads are impassable for cars.
It comes back to self-reliance again. Can't assume your car will always be the answer. Other ways to move might be essential.
And on communication, if regular channels are down or maybe being monitored,
Uh-huh.
the script suggests using encrypted messaging apps. Signal or Telegram are mentioned.
That's a smart modern tip for maintaining some privacy and security in your communications when things are unstable. Knowing how to use them could be really valuable.
Okay, finally, the script touches on something often overlooked, but, well, incredibly important.
What's that?
Mental and emotional preparedness.
Ah, yes. The psychological side, huge.
It acknowledges the massive toll conflict takes emotionally.
And stress is trying to stay calm under pressure. Panic clouds judgment, leads to mistakes. Easier said than done, of course, but important to strive for.
It also advises maybe limiting exposure to traumatic news if it's just overwhelming you.
That's about self-care, isn't it? Staying informed is one thing, but constantly watching distressing footage, that can be damaging. Finding a balance.
Protect your own mental well-being.
Right. And the last point here is community.
Helping neighbors, sticking together.
Yeah, that collective resilience. Community support can be such a powerful resource. Sharing information, maybe resources, just looking out for each other. It makes a difference.
So, wrapping up this deep dive, it's clear that preparing for something like war involves many layers.
Definitely. It's not just about stocking up on cans.
It's information, securing your home, supplies, having communication and evacuation plans, and crucially, that mental readiness.
And they all link together, don't they? Good info helps you plan better.
Yeah.
Supplies support your plan. Mental strength helps you execute it.
It seems like being prepared across all these areas, while hoping you never need it, can provide a sense of control and maybe some peace of mind in uncertain times.
I think that's the core message. It's about agency, not just anxiety. Taking steps, however small, can make a significant difference to outcomes.
So, thinking about everything we've just discussed based on that script, here's something for you, the listener, to consider. Considering all these potential disruptions, what single preparedness action do you feel would be most impactful for your specific circumstances? And what further questions does this raise for you about community resilience?